Yes, it's been a while. So I want to talk about how Arsenal, Man City have survived with the same coach and consistently buying and playing this style of game for a long time. It's like 6 seasons, yes, 2019 December to now, 6 seasons, and we have been having the same strategy of signing players that are fitting for the style. Arsenal has signed about 61 players fitting for his own style. That doesn't mean all of them really worked well. That doesn't mean all the signing actually played well. But it has been consistent because it's even showing now. 3 players per position. We have a lot of players occupying those space. Why? Because they have spent a lot of time, a lot of money in buying players for that kind of style. I will start from 2019. Talking about Arteta now. 2019. There are a lot of senior players there. We have David Luiz, we have Mustafi, senior players. Xhaka was there. Contract has been with them. They have been there before Arteta, so they have to just without spending much, because that was the first issue Arteta had. Not wanting to spend much. The club doesn't want to spend much, right? So not wanting to spend much, he gave them a lower outcome in the first season, becoming 8th in the table. They're not fit to Arteta's style of game. So, moving on from there, 2019 it didn't work well. Yeah, 2020 it didn't also work well. So it started working well from 2021 because they started signing, and the recent players have left. Mustafi, David Luiz, they have left. I think Xhaka was still there for a while, but David Luiz, Gallas, those ones have left. He started signing players that are fitting for his own game. So, in time, we started seeing how much consistently they have become. And it is helping their game right from 2020, buying players fitting for the job. They started competing for EPL, started competing to take the league. Why? A lot of time with the same coach, with the same style of game, with the same buying strategy. It helped the game, helped the players, helped the coach, helped the club in the whole, because they have improved in time. Now wanting to spend in 2019 to 2021. Now wanting to spend, improve the game, even to present time. They keep buying players fitting for their job. Buying the players fitting for the game. Profile, high profile, Havertz, high profile also. Buying players fitting for the positions of the game. Players that move with the ball, make use of the ball. Gabriel Jesus also was there, making use of the ball. Those are the players meant to play Arteta's style of game, because Arteta's style of game look like Guardiola's style of game, because they have players that are good 1v1, which is what we see that is working nowadays, or compared to earlier time of football, where you have a lot of game plan in the sense that you have people having counter attack as their main game, people having sit back and counter attack as their main game, some having play with the full force, concede goal if you can score too much of goals. But now we have players depending on their individual ability. So now we have players that coach really want them to depend on their individual ability against the opponents, and that is what I've been working nowadays. That is what Arteta is signing player with nowadays, aside from the set piece strategy that they have. What you know how to do is what to do best. It's what you should do best. Arteta does the set piece game well, right? So for Arteta, he spent about 900 million euros on players. On 61 players, I think. 61 players. Aside from the academic player, the Xhaka, McLaren, and co. He signed about 61 players aside from them, spending 929 million euros on players for 6 years. Now we move to Pep Guardiola that has spent 11. This is the 11th year of Guardiola now. Yes, 11th year. He have bought about 51 players. So what now to make us remember is that if Pep Guardiola is buying players, the player he bought those time, if you had buy them now, he will have spent more than what we have seen on the board. Why? Because players' value increases in the course of the year. If those players he bought now, he actually bought them then, the money will reduce. But the player he actually bought them, if he have to buy them now, because he bought Sane back then, if you have to buy them now, you see a lot of money coming up, because even with the player he bought back then compared to this time, he has spent about 1.9 billion on players 51 players. 51 players. Even with the long time of reduction of price tag on players, they have spent 1.9 billion on players, which shows how much you want to improve your team. Pep Guardiola has built the team twice. He built the team under David Silva. Now he built the team under De Bruyne. Now is another team is already building already. So he has built about 2 players and building the third one already. That's how much consistently you have to be buying players fitting for your style. Coach have to stay to work with the style he has bought the player for. That's mainly what have been affecting most of the team. Sacking players because of the first season, second season. But now we eventually, some team are spending money with limited players because the value have gone up. Spending money with limited players because the value has gone up compared to back then that the value has not, gone up. So we'll move to Liverpool, that has been consistently moving well under Kloop. Because last season they won the league under Kloop's player, which means Kloop also would have won the league last season, apparently. Because now we are seeing the flaws of Liverpool because Klopp decided to sign players and sell out or prefer his own player more than the actual player that is on ground before. That is how bad it is for Liverpool now, because they have diverted from the other coach that have worked well for the league, which is Klopp. 8th season of buying players fitting for his own style, fitting for EPL. That is how consistently you have to buy players fitting for your own style of game, which is quite different from Manchester United. So I'm bringing to you this 3 teams that have been consistently buying players, working for them over 5 years. Klopp 8 years, Arteta 6 years, Pep Guardiola 11 years. I'm bringing out those teams that have stayed with one coach and one style of game for as long as possible. These are the results you see Champions League in them. Arsenal struggling to get to anywhere in Champions League, though they tried last season, which show the intensity they have been creating for themselves, the consistency they have been creating for themselves for the past time. So you have to understand how much time it is to build a team and not just waking up to believe it's a miracle. People actually buy players. People actually follow the same style of game. Buy players that follow the same style of game for the main time. We don't just believe one team just wake up all of a sudden. No, they have been working towards that. Buying players towards that course, which is quite different from Manchester United. So I will talk about Manchester United in my next video and expatiate on why it becomes difficult for MAN.U in the early stage, because we've been signing different coaches, different style of game, different coaches, different style of game. So I'll bring that out to you, and I will talk about players that have been bought that won't work for the next style of game of the coach that was brought in. Different players for different style of game, different players for different style of game. Now there are players that can't be sold because the former coach actually bought them for 5 years. Now it has been constantly affecting the next regime. I will see you guys in my next video.